America is known as the world's most powerful democracy, where the rule of law, freedom of expression, and accountability are given utmost importance. The president holds one of the most influential and prominent positions in the world. People expect guidance, honesty, and justice from this office. However, history has repeatedly shown that when power is not matched with responsibility, even the highest towers of greatness can crumble. While many US presidents have accomplished remarkable feats, some have been linked with scandals and corruption. These scandals not only tarnished their personal reputations but also deeply shook the nation. Public trust, national dignity, and America's global image were all severely impacted. In this video, we will explore the 5 most significant presidential scandals in American history. Scandals that rocked the very foundation of the White House and left the American public shocked, angry, and disillusioned. These cases involved lies, abuse of power, sexual misconduct, financial irregularities, and violations of international law. These stories remind us how crucial the process of accountability is in any democracy, no matter how high the office. Let's take a deep look into the history and uncover the truths about these presidents who called themselves servants of the people, but whose actions told a different story. The Watergate scandal is considered the most infamous and shameful political scandal in American history. It shook President Richard Nixon's administration to its core and eventually led to his resignation. The scandal came to light on June 17th, 1972, when 5 men were caught breaking into the Democratic National Committee headquarters at the Watergate complex in Washington, D.C. Initially, it seemed like an ordinary burglary, but it was soon discovered that the burglars were connected to Nixon's re-election committee. Further investigations revealed that the break-in was meant for political espionage, bugging phones and stealing information. As journalists, particularly Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein of the Washington Post, delved deeper, more truths came to light. Congress also began investigations, and it became clear that Nixon was not only aware of the conspiracy but had also tried to cover it up. In 1974, the Supreme Court ordered Nixon to release secret White House recordings. The tapes confirmed his involvement. Before impeachment proceedings could begin, Nixon resigned on August 8, 1974, becoming the first U.S. president to resign due to a scandal. The Watergate scandal severely damaged public trust and made it clear that even the presidency is not above the law. In 1998, American politics was rocked by the revelation of an illicit relationship between President Bill Clinton and a young White House intern, Monica Lewinsky. This was more than just a personal matter. It engulfed American politics, media, and the judicial system for months. The scandal began when a former White House employee, Linda Tripp, secretly recorded conversations with Lewinsky in which she admitted to a relationship with Clinton. These tapes were handed over to independent investigator Kenneth Starr, who expanded his investigation. Initially, President Clinton denied any sexual relations with Lewinsky, but when concrete evidence emerged, particularly a blue dress with Clinton's DNA, his lie was exposed. The U.S. House of Representatives initiated impeachment proceedings against him for lying under oath and obstruction of justice. Although the House voted for impeachment, the Senate did not secure the 2/3 majority needed to remove him from office. This scandal was a severe blow to Clinton's credibility and sparked a national debate on morality in politics, presidential ethics, and the role of media. The Iran-Contra affair was one of the most complex and controversial scandals in U.S. history, emerging during President Ronald Reagan's administration in the 1980s. It shook public confidence and raised questions about U.S. foreign policy and congressional authority. This story had 2 main components. First, the secret sale of arms to Iran, and second, the illegal funding of anti-government rebels, Contras, in Nicaragua. Official U.S. policy prohibited both actions, and Congress had explicitly banned aid to the Contras. Despite this, senior Reagan administration officials devised a secret plan. Weapons were sold to Iran and the profits were funneled to the Contras. Key players included members of the National Security Council, with Colonel Oliver North playing a central role. The affair came to light when the Lebanese press revealed the arms sales. The US government launched investigations and several officials were prosecuted. Although Reagan denied authorizing these actions, the scandal cast a dark shadow over his presidency. This case remains a cautionary tale about how secret operations and illegal decisions can undermine democratic institutions. The Teapot Dome scandal, which erupted in the early 1920s, is considered America's first major political corruption scandal. It deeply tarnished President Warren G. Harding's administration. The scandal revolved around federal oil reserves located in Wyoming and California. One of the key reserves, Teapot Dome, lent its name to the scandal. Harding appointed his close friend Albert B. Fall as Secretary of the Interior, who then secretly leased the oil reserves to private companies, Sinclair Oil and Pan American Petroleum, without competitive bidding. In return, Fall received huge bribes in the form of cash, loans, and gifts totaling hundreds of thousands of dollars. The corruption was exposed when journalists and Congress started questioning the legality of these leases. Investigations revealed that Fall had abused his position for personal gain. He was later convicted and became the first U.S. cabinet member to be imprisoned for corruption. Though Harding died before the full scandal was revealed, his presidency is forever associated with corruption and cronyism. The scandal weakened public trust and led to future reforms in government transparency. In 2020, as the world grappled with the COVID-19 pandemic, the Trump administration allocated billions in emergency aid. But with that came numerous questions of transparency, favoritism, and misuse of funds. Corruption allegations surfaced regarding both U.S. foreign aid, USAID, and domestic COVID relief funds. The Paycheck Protection Program, PPP, designed to help small businesses, was exploited by large firms and politically connected individuals who submitted false claims and received millions. Meanwhile, many genuinely needy small businesses were left out. Critics accused the Trump administration of favoring close business associates and political allies. A lack of transparency was also seen in medical equipment procurement, vaccine development, and hospital funding. In some cases, contracts were awarded to individuals or companies lacking any relevant experience. Despite multiple congressional hearings and media investigations, no major officials were held accountable. Still, these scandals remain a stain on Trump's presidency and significantly eroded public trust. The US presidency is the most powerful political office in the world, yet history shows that without accountability, power leads to corruption, irregularities, and a loss of public trust. From Watergate to Lewinsky, Iran-Contra to Teapot Dome, and the recent COVID funding scandals, each era has seen stories that not only put presidents in crisis but also shook national institutions. These scandals highlight that even in a strong democracy like America, the rule of law is not automatic. A free press, informed citizens, and an active system of checks and balances are essential to keep those in power in check. However, there is a silver lining. In many of these cases, public pressure, judicial independence, and journalistic freedom brought the truth to light and led to reforms. These stories remind us that democracy isn't protected just by voting. It demands constant vigilance, questioning, and accountability. Ultimately, it is this awareness that builds a strong, transparent, and accountable system, the true spirit of democracy. As we've seen throughout this video, even the highest office in the land is not immune to scandal, deception, or misuse of power. From Nixon's Watergate to Trump's COVID relief controversies, each scandal left deep marks, not just on the presidency, but on the nation's collective conscience. These stories are more than just historical footnotes. They are cautionary tales, reminders that democracy, no matter how strong, can be weakened when leaders act above the law. They show us what happens when personal gain is placed above public trust and when truth is buried under political ambition. But there's another side to this story, a hopeful one. In every scandal, there were brave whistleblowers, relentless journalists, and engaged citizens who demanded answers. Investigations were launched, questions were asked, and in many cases, justice was served. This is the true strength of democracy, its ability to confront its own failures and emerge wiser and stronger. So, what can we learn from these scandals? That the fight for transparency, accountability, and integrity in leadership must never stop. That holding those in power to account is not just a legal responsibility, it's a civic duty. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into history, politics, and truth. And remember, power alone doesn't define a leader. How they wield it does. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and keep questioning.